As I feel miss, I'm in my 60s, and if I could go back and do a few things differently, I wouldn't change a thing. Here's why. If I erased the hard lessons, I'd erase the wisdom that came with them, the strength and experience that knowing this too shall pass. And I got through that, and I will get through this, and you can't buy that. There is advice I would give myself along the journey. Number one, don't feel afraid to fail, even in the fourth quarter. If you're afraid to fail, you're afraid to grow. I had a major failure in my late 50s when I lost close to $1 million on a business acquisition. It was painful in many ways. I analyzed the mistakes and lessons, made some course corrections, and got right back in the game by starting a new venture. Failure is just feedback that we need to succeed. Number two, don't worry about what people think. Other people's opinions won't pay your bills, build your dreams, or tackle the challenges that come your way. So why give them that power? I stayed far away from social media because I didn't want the exposure and negativity that comes with it. However, I learned that the pros far outweigh the cons and decided that I would pay that small price to pursue my goals and leave my grandkids with a positive and loving legacy of me. You see, my grandkids are my why, and I will do whatever I need to do to make their future better. Number three, limit your exposure to dream killers and negative people. It's like sitting in secondhand smoke. Even if you're not the one lighting the fire, you're still breathing in the poison. Negative people are an unhappy virus that will zap you of your energy and joy. Protect your peace at all costs, even if it's a close family member that you just need to keep an arm's length from. Protect your peace. Number four, you don't have to follow somebody else's rules. I've always been horrible at following rules. At the end of the day, you know what's best for you. I love long distance running, and I've seen fitness people telling women to stop running after a certain age. That's ridiculous. I say, you do you, and I'm going to do me. Number five, accept people for who they are, even if they are horrible, evil, and crazy. Don't spend time debating, arguing, and trying to change them. I had a crazy uncle, and I was his favorite person because I accepted his craziness from a distance. Own the power and manage the relationship, or don't have a relationship with them at all. Just don't put energy into trying to change someone who didn't ask you to change them. Blood may be thicker than water, but water tastes better than blood. Number six, somewhere along the way, the world started acting like hard work was a punishment instead of a privilege. But the truth is, anything worth having, the dream, the freedom, the success is earned, not handed out. Hard work isn't a dirty word. It's the engine behind every goal, every comeback, and every legacy. You can pray for it, you can plan for it, but at the end of the day, you've got to work for it. And that's not something to avoid. It's something to be proud of. Number seven, stop spending every waking hour worrying about the number on the scale and avoiding pictures with your kids and social events with friends and family. I've wasted too many years obsessing about my weight, and it has negatively impacted every area of my life. So when I entered the fourth quarter, I took action, and now I'm training for my first marathon and doing 75 hard. I'm going to get back to my championship fitness level, and yes, I can do it and will do that in my 60s. Number eight, if you're over 50 and facing the reality that you don't have enough saved for retirement, studying AI isn't just important, it's essential. AI is reshaping every industry, creating new opportunities for those who are willing to adapt. A lot of people are afraid of it, but you don't have to be. It's here. If you don't know where to start with ChatGPT. You should be using it every day like you use Google. Ignoring AI today is like ignoring the internet in the 90s. It's not going away, and it will only widen the gap between those who thrive and those who struggle. No matter your age, embracing AI can give you a second chance at building wealth, security, and freedom in your fourth quarter of life. Number 9. Here's the promise that I made to myself when I was 16 years old. Although I grew up in a loving, stable 2-parent household, everywhere I looked, I saw young single girls and women struggling to raise kids by themselves. So I made the decision I wouldn't have any more kids than I could take care of by myself. And this is something that I always tell young women. Although I love kids, I knew being a single parent with multiple children was the fastest way to get into a life of poverty. I kept that promise to myself, and I only had one son, but I also have a beautiful bonus daughter who gave me my wonderful grandbabies. The second major turning point is when I was unexpectedly fired from my job. I was a senior level VP of HR and spent over 25 years in corporate, working 7 days a week, working on the weekends, holidays, vacation. I even worked when I was in the hospital, sick. I never took a day off. And although I was completely shocked when I was let go, took a couple of hours, got myself together, and I became so excited because I knew God had something great in store for me. He forced that door closed because he had a much better door that I needed to go through, and I'm so glad I did. And that was a major changing point in my life. Number 13, I've always been into self-improvement, and many years ago, I heard Tony Robbins say, if you don't know what to do what you would do if you did know what to do. I have lived by that statement. It sounds like a riddle at first, but here's what it really means. Deep down, you already have more answers than you realize. When you're stuck, overwhelmed, or doubting yourself, it's not because you're clueless. It's because you're second guessing, overthinking, or letting fear cloud your instincts. If you pretend for a moment that you already know what to do, you'll usually make a decision based on your gut, your wisdom, and your experience. It's about trusting yourself, even when you're scared. Action brings clarity. When you move forward like you believe you know the way, the next steps will reveal themselves. Number 14, after I got fired, I made my first power move. I'm a research fanatic, so I spent a year studying how to build wealth and decided to buy a business. The type of business was secondary. I would have bought a hot dog business if I thought I could make a profit. Life became very interesting after I became a business owner. I bought my first business in 2008 for $500,000, and it was a fledgling locksmith franchise. Getting financed for a business that was losing $100,000 a year, and I had no experience during the Great Recession was impossible. However, I had divine intervention again, and I became the proud owner of a locksmith business with 15 broken down trucks and 12 locksmiths. Number 15, I'm a serial entrepreneur now who believes that everyone should have multiple streams of income and not be 100% dependent upon an employer for your livelihood. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who have recently lost their jobs, particularly in the federal arena, who thought that they were fairly safe from ever being let go. And in the past, it was true. So I certainly understand, that thought process. And unfortunately, I'm sure there are a lot of those who were not financially prepared to lose their primary source of income. But you know what? It's not too late. There are ways to expand your income stream and have sources of income from other different areas. And it's so important for those who are not in that position to start thinking about, how do I start to generate income from other areas for my life? Number 16, Being a business owner is not for the weak and is not for everybody. That I do know. I have owned a lot of asset heavy businesses, including companies with large fleets. I've had hundreds of accidents. I've been involved in some lawsuits. I've had thefts, lost millions of dollars, and a host of other insane events that I've weathered. I have never had a business partner, but weathered those storms with the grace of God. And although I've just named a lot of very stressful and traumatic things, the pros still far outweigh the cons. And I love controlling my own destiny and building wealth through businesses.